initially when they were in Texas, we actually had up to baseball-sized hail, and we still had our storm trackers out there. They were monitoring that, and Val and Amy Castor were watching the baseball-sized hail. I know we have video of some of that hail and some of the storms that were way out to the west. So yeah, we had Val and Amy Castor. We also had Jeremy Carter, Tom Pastrano, Marty Logan. They were all out there watching as the storms eventually moved into far western Oklahoma. Big time supercell there, and eventually a squall line moved in. Yeah, lots of wind, and you can see the hail in that shot a little bit as well, obviously backing up some traffic and people doing exactly what they should not be doing, which is parking under the overpass and creating a more dangerous situation, unfortunately. Let's go to Links 1, and I'm going to show you what exactly happened. So here's all the storms eventually forming that squall line that moved into far western Oklahoma. Well, eventually the storms really weakened in northwest Oklahoma. The storms went away. It formed a wake low, and with that, we had some heat bursts that happened. Eventually, we actually had a little bit of rain even here in Oklahoma City, just not necessarily at the airport. So what happened? Well, again, the wake low moved off to the north and west, and we had a heat burst right over Beaver. We actually had a temperature of about 89 degrees. So once the thunderstorm dies, it kind of brings all the hot air down from the higher part of the atmosphere down to the ground, and it just got really warm and it got really windy. Here's all the wind gusts from yesterday evening, or actually this actually took place very early this morning. So anywhere between about 60 to as much as around 70 miles an hour. We even had a gust of 51 miles an hour earlier this morning in Yukon, but it was a good rain for western Oklahoma, especially in the southwest. Little over 1 or just under 1 3/4, almost an inch there in Hobart. Looking at the rest of the state, not quite as much here in central Oklahoma. Those storms really weakened as they moved off to the east, but at least we did get some rain in parts of the metro. This is our Norman Regional Camera, part of our Pike Pass Skycam network. Lots of sunshine, 82 degrees. It's going to be warm and humid today. A south wind at 18. Heat index at 86 degrees with a dew point of 70. So temperatures pretty much statewide, low to mid 80s, still some upper 70s showing up with the south wind between about 15 to 25 miles an hour. The big picture showing the main dry line. It's well out to the west. Well, out ahead of that again later this afternoon and into the evening, there is a chance we do get some showers and storms to form out ahead of that later this evening. So for today, again, pretty quiet across the main body of the state, but later we could see some showers and storms way out to the west. They're going to try to weaken as they move into northwest Oklahoma, and then tomorrow looks very similar. The dry line's going to approach western Oklahoma, but still it doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot out of this. Maybe a few showers and storms out west, nothing here in Oklahoma City. By the time we get into Friday, eventually the cold front pushes in, and with that being said, we're expecting a few more showers and storms. The coverage should be a little bit greater, and we could see some severe storms with that as well. So today, looking for a high of about 89 degrees, upper 80s across the state, a couple low 90s showing up, and then later this evening, storms are a lot more likely out in the Panhandle. A slight chance they do make it into far western Oklahoma with a low threat that some of those would also be severe, large hail, damaging winds, some heavy rainfall. Overnight tonight, it is going to be warm and stuffy again, only dropping down into the upper 60s and low 70s. Tomorrow afternoon, highs back to about 90 degrees, but the mid and upper 90s across the west with a very gusty south wind. So tomorrow evening, the chances actually look a little bit lower than this evening for far western Oklahoma. Again, nothing here in the metro, but for tomorrow evening, if we do get 1 or 2 storms to go, there would be a low threat that they could become severe with large hail and damaging wind. On Friday, temperatures still in the 90s for many of us. The cold front will eventually move through, so temperatures not as hot in the northwest. But by Friday afternoon, a slight chance of storms here in Oklahoma City. But I do think the chance does look a little bit greater across the far northern, northeastern, and eastern half of the state. Friday afternoon into Friday evening. And with some of those storms, if they do develop, there would be that threat that they could become severe. Again, large hail, damaging wind, heavy rainfall, that would all be an issue. As we get into the weekend, it does still look fairly quiet. Highs in the upper 80s on Saturday. We're going partly cloudy both Saturday and Sunday with very minimal rain chances. I have about a 10% chance here on Sunday in Oklahoma City, but for most of the state, no matter where you go, I think the chances overall do look pretty low.